Hey guys, it's the Sofa Guy here with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you the craziest thing that I think has ever happened to me, and this is probably a crazier thing than most people will ever deal with. It isn't directly linked to me. It's actually something one of my classmates did a few years ago now, about 4 years ago actually. At the end of high school, and it's just one of those things that you think, what the is going on? It's crazy. So in high school, you'd have a few lessons, then break, a few lessons, then lunch, a few lessons, then you'd go home. So we'd been through the day. Lunch is just normal as far as I'm aware, and after lunch I'd have maths class. And so I was not very good at maths, let's just say that. So I was in a class with a lot of special kids, we'll call them, and I guess I was one of the special kids if I was in that class. And the level of maths we were doing wasn't very hard necessarily. I used to think it was rather just easy. I didn't really pay attention. That's probably why I was in that class. And the kids in that class, I'll tell you why, you'll know why they're special at the end of this story. But basically, there was this one kid, we're going to call him Jerry, because why not Jerry? That's not his real name, of course. And so basically, Jerry sat at the very back of the class, and there weren't many, because we was bottom set, there weren't really many kids in this class, so there were only 2 rows of kids, long, it was quite a small classroom. It was a weird layout. You won't be able to imagine it probably. And I used to sit just in front of Jerry on separate desks, so I was in front of him. And one day, just in maths class after lunch, and he had this huge hoodie on, and I could just hear this noise, like fabric or material moving against his desk or something. So I could just hear this noise, and I was like, it's a bit weird. So I looked behind me, and it was just Jerry, just head down, in his jumper, kind of just looking down, his hands in his jumper pockets, nothing out of the ordinary as far as I was concerned. And he was moving a bit, but these kids tended to have fidgety tendencies, so I didn't really think much of it. But then this noise, it was getting louder, so I looked back again, and the way his hand was moving, you kind of got the impression that he was masturbating. And obviously my first instinct wasn't, oh, Jerry's masturbating in the back of the classroom, because why would that? Maybe he was just moving his boxers, stuff guys might actually do in a classroom, which masturbating definitely isn't one of them. This was bottom set, so it continues for a long time, and this is when I knew, and it was probably the most horrifying noise. Jerry let out this little moan, and I think it was when he'd finished. So that was horrifying. And then I just turned back, and he didn't get caught, but he looked up at me and just smiled, like a little smirk. And it was probably the most horrifying experience of my life, as Jerry masturbated just behind me and then smiled at me after doing it. And then later, I found out, a few weeks later, he decided to tell me that the jumper that he wears in that classroom, hoodies will sometimes have that pocket in front of the stomach, and he had fashioned a hole for his penis. It was a long jumper, so it went over where his stomach usually be, and he'd fashioned a hole so he could put his penis up and masturbate whilst no one would know necessarily, but obviously it's quite hard to masturbate discreetly. And he used to just do it in classes sometimes, and as far as I know, he never got caught. And if Jerry ever watches this, I just want to let you know, Jerry, you're disgusting, because it horrified me. And that is, just think, it's horrible. And now more people know. But if you're going to learn anything from this story, is do not masturbate in your lessons. Pay attention in class so you're not with the people that will masturbate in their lessons. And if you are going to do the masturbation in class, make it more discreet. I mean, Jerry never got caught, so it must have been pretty discreet. But I could hear him, see him, and it was disturbing. And that was just the first, and that was actually the only time I saw. And I don't know if he did it more times. So sorry about that. That is probably the most disgusting thing you'll hear all day. Thank you for watching, and I wish you well. Goodbye.